The warm family meal suddenly grew heavy. Lon frowned. What do you mean? Are you saying we don't love Mom? Her younger brother shook his head. I don't want to argue. It's just, only by being with Mom every day do you really understand what she needs. If you just bring her over for a few days and then send her back, she remembers it longer than you think. Madame Duong set her bowl down, her voice slow and gentle. Enough, children. Don't argue. The fact that I'm still here is already a blessing. As for who truly loves me, I can feel it myself. Her words drifted into the heavy air like a cool breeze. All three children fell silent, their eyes cast down, each touching an old sorrow never spoken aloud. That afternoon, when the guests had left, she quietly carried a bundle of tablecloths to the well to wash, even though her hands still hurt. Kwong followed her out and asked softly, Mom, are you sad? No, I'm used to it. I just hope you siblings know how to love one another. I don't need anyone to prove who is filial and who is not. The late afternoon sky darkened, thin clouds stretching across the faded tin roof. A breeze passed through the areca palms at the gate, their leaves rustling as if calling the names of the dead and of the forgotten living. That day's meal was full of people, yet missing one thing: unity. And she knew, children must learn not only from a will, but from the way their parents lived and treated each other all their lives. By midnight, the small neighborhood sank into silence. Kwong and Lone had gone to bed early to be ready for the market. In the borrowed room of her two grandchildren, Madame Duong still sat at the low wooden table. The yellow lamp shone on a wrinkled A4 sheet. Her hand trembled as she wrote carefully, Personal will, I, Duong Thi Thuan. For days she had been restless, troubled by the small house in the village, the birthplace of her children, the place where her husband had passed away, and the only property in her name. Its value wasn't much, but it was all she had to leave. Seeing her three children gathered for their father's memorial left her heart in turmoil. Kwong was poor but devoted, Lon capable but often calculating, and Tri successful but distant. If she were to pass suddenly, would that house still be able to keep them under the same roof? She had written to divide it equally, then torn it up. Written to give it all to Kwong, then torn that up too. The paper before her now was the fifth draft, still unsigned. In her eyes, each child appeared differently. Kwong looked at her as if she were part of his very life. Tri carried her as a duty, and Lon's love came mixed with careful measuring. She had felt anger, but then softened because, after all, they were still her children. The night breeze brought in the earthy smell after rain through the cracks in the door. She opened the cupboard, took out the savings book she had hidden, tucked the unsigned will inside, and wrapped it in an old handkerchief before slipping it under her pillow. To leave it unsigned was to leave it unsettled, to keep waiting. The next morning, she woke later than usual. Kwong had already gone to work. Lone was sweeping the yard, and the two grandchildren were studying. Everything seemed peaceful, as if the long night of turmoil had never happened. As Lone washed vegetables, she called out, Lone, if one day I'm no longer here, remember to look under my pillow. There's a cloth pouch inside with some things I've left. Don't lose it. Startled, Lone quickly wiped her hands. Oh, don't say that, Mother. You're still healthy. Don't scare me like that. The mother did not reproach, only gently reminded. Soon I won't be able to stay with you forever. What I fear most is not death, but that you might drift apart for a lifetime over a little inheritance. The most precious thing I want to leave behind is kinship. Whoever keeps it, that one truly has the greatest share. Lone looked up, eyes blurred with tears. Her mother had grown frailer, her hair whiter, yet her gaze was bright like someone who had weathered many storms and now finally understood what was worth holding on to. Her words, though not yet written as an official will, had etched themselves deep into the children's hearts. For sometimes, a legacy is not land or bank books, but the way a mother lives and loves. Night fell, the pale moonlight shrouded in mist, casting a silver glow on the uneven tin roof of their small house. She sat quietly at the table. Before her lay the unsigned will and an old wedding photo in a worn wooden frame. Looking at it, she seemed to ask her late husband, Dear, the choice I make now, Is it the right one? All her life she had toiled, never imagining the day would come when even the little she owned would have to be divided. An old roof, a barren plot of land, a modest savings book enough to stir restlessness in hearts. She remembered one of her own children once asking, "Do you have money, Mother?" A question that pierced her heart, yet she forgave, knowing life always demands bread on the table. The old mother never wished to be a burden, only to have a home to return to and a heartfelt call of mother. That night, she added a few lines, slipped them into the will. "My dear children, I have little money to leave. What I can give you is love. Whoever treasures it, that one receives the most. May you live in harmony. Love one another as your father. And I once loved you." Only near dawn did she fall asleep, her mind clear. She must return to her hometown not to escape, but to face things, to put her life in order. The next morning, before the sun rose above the bamboo grove, she stood at the gate with an old cloth bag in hand. She told Kwang, "I want to go back to the village for a few days. My old house, if it isn't cared for, it will be gone." Kwang was silent, then nodded. "Let me take you. You shouldn't go alone." Mother and son rode past golden rice fields, across a rickety bamboo bridge, into the village scented with straw. The three-room house appeared behind the thick banana grove, mossy tiles on the roof, and the line of areca palms his father had planted still casting long shadows on the yard. "I'm home now, dear," she whispered as if to her husband far away. Together they began to tidy up. She swept cobwebs, washed the water jars, while Kwang replaced broken tiles and cleared weeds in the garden. That noon, for the first time in years, the kitchen fire blazed again, cooking boiled greens, fried eggs, and fish sauce with ginger fragrance filling the yard. In the afternoon, she opened a wooden box, placing inside the savings book, the will, and her handwritten letter. She told Kwang, "Under the bed, right where I lie. When I'm gone, take it out." Kwang gripped her hand, eyes moist. "You must live long to see your grandchildren grow, Mother." She smiled. The old don't fear death, only that their children stop loving one another. That night, lying on the old bamboo bed, the breeze from the fields cooled her face, carrying the scent of new rice. Outside, the moon hovered gently above the areca tops, glowing soft like her husband's eyes long ago. Within the simple ancestral home, she felt truly herself again, no longer shrinking, no longer restrained. She had returned, not out of clinging to the past, but out of understanding. Only here was home.